how to throw an exception. So we know that when an exception occurs or arises in your program, an object representing that exception is created and then it is thrown. So what can be thrown? Anything which is a subclass of throwable, anything which is a subclass of throwable, or anything which is a subclass of exception. We know that throwable is a supreme class, then it is divided into two, exception and error, and the child classes or the subclasses of exception are null pointer exception, illegal access, arithmetic exception. So many classes are there representing the various exception types. So an object representing these kinds of exception classes can be thrown. If you try to throw simple integer, so you might not be able to throw that integer kind of exception, because integer is not a subclass or direct subclass or indirect subclass for this throwable kind of a class, throwable class. So what can be thrown? Anything which is a subclass of this, anything which is available here, anything which is throwable, anything which has arrived from throwable can be thrown. Now how to throw? Okay, now let us try to see it with the help of sample program, and it is also very simple. See, okay, we have written a class throw demo, class name of your choice. We have written two functions written over here, mentioned over here. One we have written in red color and another function is written in green color. Okay, so let's start with this main function. So we have written public static void main, a main function. Inside main function we have written a try block. Inside try we have given a call to demo proc function. Okay, one function can give a call to another function, demo proc function, and one catch is written over here, one handler is written, exception handler is written over here. Basically we want to catch null pointer exception. When this null pointer exception will come? When you try to access some object, some memory space which is not available, which is not active now, which is being referenced to null, or which has been deleted. Okay, and still if your object tries to access that particular memory location, you will get a null pointer exception. So null pointer exception, and what logic we have written over here is, if you get a null pointer exception, you print this message. So this is the main function. We have written try. Inside try you have given call to this demo proc function, and corresponding catch for this try is this, which accepts null pointer exception, and upon accepting the exception object over here, it prints this message. Now since this calls a demo proc function, we have written a definition of this demo proc function over here. Inside demo proc we have written one try and the corresponding catch, try and corresponding catch. Inside try we are throwing this null pointer exception. How to throw a null pointer exception? You use throw keyword, new null pointer exception, and a string message. So basically what we are doing here is, new creates a new object which represents null pointer exception, and constructor is, we are passing a string kind of a message to the constructor for null pointer exception class. So what we have discussed yesterday, when there is an exception, we create an object representing an exception of that representing that exception type, and then we throw. So basically we are doing those two things. One is throwing the exception, and here we are creating an object which represents null pointer exception. So creating an object and throw. Okay, so this is how you can throw, this is how you can throw an exception. When the exception is thrown from this try block, it searches for an appropriate catch block immediately after this try. So do we have a catch block immediately after this try? Yes, we have written a try catch block. So when null pointer exception is thrown from here, null pointer exception is accepted over here, and this message we have printed, caught inside demo proc. This is how this throwing and catching works. Now if you want to throw, if you want that this particular catch block, this particular exception handler to also get executed if an exception arises over here, then you have to rethrow the exception. How to rethrow? Throw keyword and exception E. Whatever exception you have thrown over here, the same exception you are throwing over here again. You are not creating a new exception object. So when you throw E, it means you are not handling it for the first time, you are rethrowing it. So when you rethrowing it, it will search from where the demo proc function is called. Demo proc function is called from here. Is that block contain appropriate catch handler? Yes, that block contain appropriate catch handler. The control transfers from here to here, and then it prints the recaught E. See the output. First caught inside the demo proc and recaught. This throw E is to demonstrate you how you can rethrow the same exception multiple number of times. Even if you do not throw multiple number of times, it is not mandatory that you should always rethrow it. Okay, even if you call this function, this try block gets executed, an exception is there, it is processed by this catch handler, it is also okay. But to demonstrate you how you can throw an same exception multiple number of times, this throw is there. When you rethrow it, this catch gets executed and it is processed accordingly. Now throws keyword. Okay, till now we have seen how to write a try, how to write a catch block, how to throw the exception. Now throws. So basically, let me read it for you. This: if a method is capable of causing an exception that it does not handle, it must specify this behavior so that the caller of the method can guard themselves against that exception. Okay, if you are writing a function and that function is throwing some kind of exception, and in that function you are not writing a try catch block, you are not writing an appropriate handler to handle that exception which that function can throw, then this would lead to an compiler error. To overcome this scenario, you should at least mention that I am writing a function so and so, this function can throw an exception ABC. I am not writing a handler for this ABC exception, so the main function or another function who is in turn calling this function should handle it. Okay, let us try to study the same. Okay, say you have written a class throws demo. In the class throws demo, you have two functions, one is throw1 and another one is the main function. So class throws demo, you have a main function. From main function you are giving a call to throw1 function. When you give a call to this throw1 function, control goes here and this throw1 function gets executed. Inside throw1 you have written one statement to print inside throw1, and now you are throwing this illegal access exception demo. Some message is there. you are trying to throw this illegal access exception. Now problem here is this function throw1 is throwing an exception, illegal access exception is throwing, but it is not being handled here. You have not written a try catch in the throw1 function. Okay, neither you have written a try catch here in main function. Okay, so this is the problem. So this throw1 function is throwing an exception, but you are not handling this exception here in throw1. If you write try catch over here, no issues. You are throwing an exception and you are handling it here itself. If you throw an exception and you handle it here, no issues. At least you are handling it. But you are throwing an exception and you are neither handling it here nor here. This is the problem. Following is an example of an incorrect program that tries to throw an exception that it does not catch. An exception that you have thrown should be caught. Because the program does not specify a throws clause to declare this fact, the program will not compile. In this kind of a situation, you will get a compiler error. This program won't compile. Now how to fix that? Using throws condition. This is now the correct program. The same program we have written, the only the green letter thing is the addition. So here throw1 is a function which throws this illegal access exception, and here it does not handles. So here we are not writing try catch blocks. So to mention that, here we have added throws illegal access exception. Now what does these throws illegal access exception here means? It means that throw1 is a function which can throw illegal access exception, illegal access type of exception, but throw1 is not handling this exception. But throw1 function is not handling this illegal access exception. So the main function who is calling this throw1, who is calling the throw1? This main function. So the throw1 function can throw illegal access type of exception, but it is not handling here. Therefore, the responsibility of handling this illegal access exception should be here. It means throw1 is calling from here, so you must write this try catch block here. देखिए clear है सबको? What is the use of throws? Okay, so throws means throw1 is a function which can throw this illegal access exception. Yes, it is throwing an exception, but it is not getting handled here. हम यहाँ पे try catch block नहीं लिखने वाले. This throws indicates this thing. So whoever is calling the throw1, from whichever place the throw1 function is getting called, from this place it is getting called. So you must write a appropriate handler for illegal access exception at this place. This is the meaning of throws. Throws basically signifies this thing. So when you give a call to this throw1 function gets called. It will print inside throw1. Exception is thrown. It will check whether the throws statement is there. Yes, throws is there. It will not give you compiler error. Illegal access exception. It will search appropriate handler here and it will print caught whatever the message. Important topic है. देखिए थ्रो बेसिकली क्या करता है? थ्रो इट क्रिएट्स एन ऑब्जेक्ट. बेसिकली थ्रो में क्या करते हैं हम लोग? यहाँ पे वी आर क्रिएटिंग एन ऑब्जेक्ट रिप्रेजेंटिंग एन अप्रोप्रिएट एक्सेप्शन टाइप एंड वी आर थ्रोइंग इट. ओके, थ्रो किया इट मीन्स वी आर सेंडिंग दैट ऑब्जेक्ट टू अप्रोप्रिएट हैंडलर. हम उसको एक अप्रोप्रिएट हैंडलर के पास भेजते हैं. ये काम है थ्रो का. और थ्रोस का काम क्या है? थ्रोज का काम है एक वार्निंग देना, एक मैसेज देना प्रोग्राम को। क्या मैसेज देना कि ये जो फंक्शन है throw1, ये फंक्शन इस टाइप का एक्सेप्शन थ्रो कर सकता है, बट इस फंक्शन के अंदर इस टाइप के एक्सेप्शन को हैंडल करने के लिए हमने कोई भी कैच ब्लॉक नहीं लिखा है, और ये इस एक्सेप्शन को हैंडल करने की जिम्मेदारी हमने वहाँ दी है जहाँ से ये फंक्शन कॉल हो रहा है, ताकि वहाँ पे इलीगल एक्सेस एक्सेप्शन को हैंडल करने के लिए अप्रोप्रिएट कैच ब्लॉक लिखा जाएगा। ये मैसेज देने का जो काम है, ये इंश्योर करने का जो काम है, ये थ्रोस करता है। सो दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन थ्रो एंड थ्रो। ओके,
Yes, sir.
the last keyword is finally keyword. The last keyword is finally. So basically finally block, it always gets executed. In case of exception, it will get executed. If your program runs successfully without any exception, then also this finally block gets executed. In case of premature exit, some go to statement is there, some return statement is there, some abrupt termination, if your program gets terminated abruptly because of some or the other internal situation, then also this finally block gets executed. So in a nutshell, you can consider writing a piece of code in finally block which you want should always get executed, irrespective of whether your program runs normally, whether your program has exception, whether your program gets terminated abruptly. Say for example, when you work with a file handling, normally you open a file, then you either read it, write it, update it, correct it, whatever operation you want to do on a file, you perform that operation, and at the end you close the file. So closing the file may be written in the finally block. Why? Because if your program runs normally, then also you want to close the file. If you have an exception, then also you will throw an exception. Catch block will handle that exception, but closing the file is necessary. So at the end, closing the file is mandatory. During running of your code, if some kind of internal problem is there, some kind of memory conflict is there, if your program gets terminated abruptly without giving a call to an exception, that this catch block or exception handler, then also you want to close the file so that whatever data is there, whatever things are there in the file must be preserved, and you want to close the file. So basically you want to close the file in all the situations. So closing the file, this particular line may be written in the finally block because you are sure that finally will get executed in all the situations. Okay?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, देखिए, here is an example program that shows 3 methods that exit in various ways, none without executing their finally clauses. In this program, we have written 3 different types of methods. They exit in 3 different ways, but for all of them, finally gets executed. Okay? Let us, whatever the theory that we have seen just now, let us try to study it with the help of this program. Okay? Okay. Now let's say first let's try to study this program. Okay. We have written a class finally demo, a class name of your choice. Okay. Then here we have written one proc a नाम का एक फंक्शन हमने लिखा है, proc a function. Inside that proc a function we have written this try. Inside try we have written system.out.println this inside proc a. Whenever this proc a function will get called, you will see this message on the screen, and this proc A function gives a call to throw new runtime exception some message demo. So proc A function, whenever the proc A function will get called, it will print this line and it will throw an exception of type runtime exception. Runtime exception को throw करेंगे. Here you have written finally. System.out.println proc A is finally. Whenever this finally for proc A function gets executed, this proc A is finally will be printed on the screen. Now here you can have a pair for try catch block. Try is associated with the corresponding catch block, or you can have a pair of try and finally. You can skip the catch as well, or you can have a try catch finally. These kind of sequence: try catch, try finally, or you can have a try catch and finally. So here we have written try and finally. Okay, this is the first function. Now the second function is proc B function. Proc B function, we have written a try. Whenever we'll go inside the proc B function, we will print this message and return. I mean, we don't want to move ahead in this ahead, and return. I mean, return from within the try block. Return from here. So don't give a call to exception. Don't move ahead. Simply return from here. So where it will go, we will see. And corresponding finally for proc B is system.out.println proc B is finally. When this proc B function is there, it will execute. So this is the finally block corresponding to this proc B function. So this proc B function is over. This is proc C function. Inside proc C function, we have written a try. It prints inside proc C. It means it is neither throwing an exception. Proc C function is nor getting closed abruptly. We have not written any return statement over there. It means this is a success scenario. Proc C function is there. Try, inside try, simple one message. Nothing, no exception, no abrupt termination. Corresponding finally is there. Proc C ka finally function we have written over here. So here we have written proc C. So this is a class. We have written three functions: proc A, proc B, proc C. Proc A function, it throws an exception of type runtime exception. Corresponding finally is there. Proc B is there. It returns from there abrupt termination. Corresponding finally is there. Proc C function is there. Successful execution. Simple one line printing is there, and corresponding finally is there. Now we have written a main function, public static void main function. Now inside main, we have written a try. This try gives a call to proc A function. And here we have written a catch, that is exception E. It means this exception block, this catch, this handler can handle all kind of exception, generic exception. So when this proc A function is called from here and it throws an exception, okay, so this catch handler will come into picture and it will print an exception, say exception caught. Then you have given a call to proc B and proc C. Then you have given a call to proc B and proc C. So see the output of this program. See the output of this program. Let us try to study the output of this program. The first line is inside proc A. Inside proc A. See, your execution will start from main. Proc A function is called. When you call a proc A function, control will go here and you will print the proc inside proc A. Inside proc A. You will give this line gets printed. This line gets printed. And in the next line, you are giving a call. You are throwing an exception. You are throwing an exception. So what it says, proc A is finally. Proc A is finally means execute this line. It means you have given a call to this proc A function. Proc A function gets called. control is inside this here, you print this inside proc A, exception is thrown from here. Now since exception is thrown from here and you have not written any catch over here, so what it says, you are moving out of this proc A function. You are moving out of this proc A function and you are not going to come back here again. So before going out of this proc A function, you execute finally, return for this proc A is finally, and then you throw an exception from here. Exception is caught here in the catch block and you print the exception caught. So first line will be inside proc A, then finally for proc A and exception caught. Inside proc A ka finally and exception is caught. Then in the next line you have given a call to this proc B function. So proc B function gets called. You will print inside proc B and you are returning it. Returning means go out of this function. When you go out of this function, you will not come back again to this function. So appropriate finally will get called. Appropriate finally block will be called. Appropriate finally will be called. The appropriate finally for proc B is this proc B is finally. Okay, so it will print here inside proc B and proc B is finally. Next function is proc C. Next function is proc C function. So proc C function you have given a call. So this function gets executed. Inside proc C message will be there. Successful execution, but still the finally block gets executed and you will see proc C's finally message on the screen. So in all the cases, whether you have an exception, whether you are returning it from a function, whether you are successfully executing, the finally always gets executed. So the code which you want that should always get executed irrespective of the exception condition, you must write it in the finally block.